my guy. Alright, so yes, tithing was for the Leviticus priest, but only the 10% that God is talking about in the Bible. So let me break it down for the religious folks. You had 12 sons of Israel, 12 sons of Jacob. Everybody from every 12 tribe was given an inheritance of land, crops, and different things, except for the sons of Levi. That's why they're called the Leviticus priesthood. Levitical priesthood means son of Levi. You only could be a priest if you were of the blood of Levi. And first of all, a lot of y'all don't know if y'all even from the blood of Levi, but that's a story for another time. See, they were only given the inheritance of God, meaning everybody got land and everything else, but the priests were only dedicated to God himself. God gave them the temple to do the tithes and offerings and everything else. Their job was to stay in the temple all the time, to do the offerings and tithes. See, the thing with the tithes was the Levitical priest got their share of the tithes first because they didn't have inheritance. They didn't have crops, food, land, clothes, and etc. So what they did was when the people brought all their tithes to them to the temple, all their crop shares and fruits and clothes and things that they had, oils, flour, and etc., everybody was to bring their share of stuff for tithes and offerings. See, the Levitical priests would take out their share of tithes first so that they would have food and clothes or whatever they needed first. That's where the 10% comes from. The 10% belongs to God. They were God's inheritance. So when the priests took their parts, then they'll make the people stand in a line and dish out evenly different things to them that they need. The community. Just like they do today at shelters. The Bible says that the tithes is for widows, the fatherless, orphans, strangers, anybody who comes to them for help. The Bible tells you who the tithes are for. It says it was for these people. And then it was up for the priest to dish out these things to the people from the storehouse, the different things that people brought as tithes. So then the priest would dish out evenly to the people what they needed and who needed what. And then the rest that was left over, they just stack it back up in the storehouse. If these people needed food, give them food. If these people needed this, give them this. If this person needed clothes, to give them this piece of clothing. Tithes was for the people. It was food, flour, oil, clothes that the people brought to the priest. The priest will pick out their 10% that they want to keep as an inheritance from God. Then they will dish it out evenly upon the people of what they needed. That's where tithes come from. There's only one time in the Bible that money was mentioned for tithes. And that one time that it mentioned money is because that the people was traveling and it was time for them to give their tithes. And the stuff they gave was too heavy. They carried animals as tithes, big bags of flour, and other things. This stuff was heavy while they was traveling. So God said, go and sell your tithes and get the money. But once you get back to your destination, where you need to give your tithes to, you go back and you buy that stuff back. And then give your tithes. That's it. Only one time was tithes mentioned about money. And he made sure to tell them that once you got back to where you're supposed to go and give your tithes to, you go back and buy that stuff. You go back and buy food. And once you buy that food, then you go to the temple and give your tithes with food to stack up in that storehouse. Tithes was never money. Never. Like he says in Matthew, when you go out and spread his word, you take nothing in return. No gold, no silver, not even a copper coin. You ain't supposed to take a penny for spreading the word. Because what was freely given to you, you shall freely give. And that was his word. So always allow Romans 3 and 4 to cross your mind. Because the love of money is the root to all evil. And that's exactly what these churches got going on. The love of money and robbing God through tithes and offerings. So let Yah be the truth and every man a liar.